Hello, friends and neighbors. One of the coolest things about researching the history of Hapeville is I tried to write down and document as many small details as I can during my research and during interviews with those of you who've lived here, your childhoods. And it's interesting how sometimes you'll write information down, I'll write information down and I'll think, well, this seems just completely irrelevant to anything. But I do it because I've been doing this long enough to learn that information that might seem irrelevant in the moment may at some point click, and two stories will match up that'll make something make sense. And that sort of happened today. I don't have full details, but I have a little more information. Today, I visited with James Southwell and Debbie Bowman, who both grew up here in Hapeville. And we got to talking about a property that I'm headed over to now that I showed you a few days ago on a video. It's on former Stewart Avenue, which is now Dogwood Drive. But this home was turned into a business at some point prior to the 60s, I do know. This home was turned into a business called Georgia Stainless Steel Company, and I learned today that what that meant was they made cookware. James Southwell told me that. And while he was talking about that property, he told me that G.B. Wallace owned Georgia Stainless Steel Company, and then he mentioned something that clicked and made me realize, oh, I've heard a tale of this before, wrote down that information thinking maybe it'll be pertinent someday. But what James told me was at Georgia Stainless Steel Company, G.B. Wallace put out back a trampoline. Now, trampolines were at the height of their rage back in the 1960s, and there was a trampoline back there in 1963. So today at lunch when I was talking to James Southwell, he told me, yeah, there was a trampoline back there because from his memory, G.B. Wallace had a daughter who was a state trampoline champion. I guess if you wanted to shorten that, she was a tramp champ. You're welcome. And so when he told me that G.B. Wallace had a daughter who was a trampoline champion, I said, well, that's odd. Just a couple weeks ago, someone sent to me a picture of herself as a toddler in 1963 on that property on a trampoline. And when she sent it to me, I thought, well, that's a random picture, but I'll save it. Maybe it'll make sense someday. So I had to go back and research today and find out who that was who sent me the picture. And it was Heidi Hilton Piper, who belongs to the Hapeville channel. So Heidi Hilton Piper, thank you for sending me the picture. I don't know if you knew this when you sent me the picture, but the reason that trampoline you were playing on in 1963 was there in the first place was because the owner of the business had a daughter who was a tramp champ. And the reason Heidi says that she was there playing on the trampoline was her father worked for G.B. Wallace and for the Georgia Stainless Steel Company. So all that clicked together. So I made a video the other day showing all of this land that I'm walking by right now, 3319, which is behind me, and 3327, which is right here, which y'all called the mansion. All of this property has been bought by developers in a parcel and is going to be turned into townhomes or apartments. I can never remember which. So all of this is going to be gone. So now we are walking up. Let me flip this around. We are walking up to this property now, this beautiful old brick house that was the home of G.B. Wallace's company, Georgia Stainless Steel Company, back in the 60s. It's number 3335. You can see this is overgrown, but there's the number in there, 3335. It's probably completely illegal for me to walk back there, but I'm gonna do it because I want to document. First of all, I'm curious. I want to check out and see if I can do a before and after and find where this photo in 1963 was taken, where the trampoline is. Odds are it's probably changed considerably back here and I may not be able to find it, but I've been wanting to come back here anyway because this is all going to be gone. My goodness, it's creepy walking around empty properties, but I thought maybe this was, you know, the trampoline was at the back of this house, if I had to guess. Oh, but it looks, wow, look at this. Hard to tell. It's been a long time. This looks like, you know, like I imagined that it was here somewhere, but it's hard to tell from the picture. There's a very specific looking window there, but it also could have been this building over here. And yep, I figured it out, y'all. There it is. This is where the trampoline sat. Is it? Am I right? It looks like that small window right there matches up with the other window. It certainly does look like, yeah, it sure does. There it is. This is where the trampoline sat, right here. Because there's the first window, that little one, then the second one, and then there's a door next to it. But now it's all overgrown. Ooh, it's creepy back here, y'all. That's it. I'm standing right here. This is where the trampoline used to be, and it was right in the ground. It's now cemented over. I'll be darned. But when you were a kid, Heidi, this is where you were. So this must have been one of the outbuildings for business. For this business, there was a chain link fence right about here by the looks of this picture, and the trampoline came right up to the edge of this window right here. So it was right there. Oh, I'm so glad I was able to figure that out. It means absolutely nothing, but it was 61 years ago. This is where it happened. And then you've got these industrial buildings here, which all of this, a loading dock. And then at one point, this was a family home, but I wonder if this was G.B. Wallace's home and then the business was behind it. I can't be sure, but I've always wanted to come back here and check it out. And that trampoline gave me a reason to do that. So for those of you in the future wondering what might have been on this property before whatever's gonna be built here was built here, it was this. And a little girl in 1963 was brought here by her father, who worked for Georgia Stainless Steel Company, and said, I'm gonna bring my daughter to work and let her play on the trampoline. The other kids in the picture, Heidi told me, were not Hapeville kids. They were her cousins who were brought here with her that day. But I'm sad to see this beautiful home go. It's such a lovely old brick home. My guess is it was built, I'll have to look it up, but built in the 30s or 40s. Back when Dogwood Drive was Stewart Avenue, and Stewart Avenue began back in the turn of the century, the 19th to the 20th century, as a residential street, and then turned business when the automobile became the main mode of transportation. Folks would come all the way down the Dixie Highway to All Point South. But there it is. It says for sale. It's been there for like 6 years. But it is now, from what I understand, sold. We're directly across the street from 3344 Stewart Avenue, now Dogwood Drive. And next to it, this building is where Mr. Reeves had his business. And there you have it. That is just something I wanted to share with you that I thought was interesting. I got to kill two birds with one stone. Go check out what 3335 looks like today, talk about what it used to be, and personalize it a little bit with information that I got from Heidi and from James. So to both of you, thank you very much. I think this information is important and relevant. And if nothing else, I don't know why, it just excites me and is fun to figure out. Create yourself a great day. Bye.